If you've ever had two dogs, you know that thing they have between them. The way they move through the house like they've quietly agreed on who goes first. The way they sleep pressed together even though there's a whole floor available. The way one will get up for no obvious reason and go find the other. It's easy to watch that and think they're just dogs, they tolerate each other. But what happens when one of them is suddenly gone? What happens to the dog left behind, the one who walks to the empty bed, sniffs the space where their companion used to be, and finds nothing? For a long time, that question didn't have a scientific answer. Now it does, and the answer is more profound than most people realize. In 2022, researchers at the University of Milan published the first major scientific study on this question. They surveyed 426 dog owners, all of whom had lost one dog while another was still alive, and what they found was striking. Nearly 90% of surviving dogs showed signs of grief after their companion's death. Not a few, not an unusual minority, 9 out of 10. In the months following their companion's death, the surviving dogs played less, ate less, and became more fearful. Many also sought significantly more attention from their owners. Now, some researchers are careful about the word grief. They point out that we can't fully know what a dog experiences internally, and that some behavioral changes might be explained by disrupted routines, the surviving dog simply adjusting to a different daily life. That's a fair, honest caveat. But here's what makes that explanation incomplete. The length of time the two dogs had lived together had no effect on how strongly the surviving dog was affected. If this were only about routine disruption, you'd expect dogs who'd lived together longer to struggle more. They didn't. What predicted the grief response wasn't time, it was the quality of the bond. Dogs who had a close, friendly relationship with the one who died showed the strongest behavioral changes. That points to something deeper than routine. It points to loss.
To understand what a grieving dog is actually experiencing, it helps to think about what their companion represented to them. Dogs are profoundly social animals. Their sense of safety, their daily rhythms, their understanding of how the world works, all of it is built around the specific individuals in their life. Another dog in the house isn't just company. They are a reference point, a constant, part of what makes the environment feel predictable and secure. When that constant disappears, the dog doesn't receive an explanation. There's no conversation, no closure, no context. Since a dog may not understand death as something permanent, some will wait, patiently, genuinely, believing the other will return. And in the meantime, the scent is still there. The smell of a departed dog in a house can linger for weeks, and for a dog, whose nose is incomparably more powerful than ours, those scent traces can continuously trigger the memory of their companion, every time they pass the bed, every time they round a corner. A presence that the nose still registers, but that never arrives. That is a particular kind of disorientation, not dramatic, not loud, just a quiet, persistent searching for something that doesn't come.
Grief in dogs doesn't always look the way we expect it to. It rarely does. Here are the signs researchers have consistently found and what each one is actually communicating. Changes in appetite. About 36% of dogs ate less after losing a companion, and around 11% stopped eating altogether for a period. This isn't stubbornness. Stress and emotional disruption genuinely suppress appetite, in dogs just as in people. If your dog is turning away from food they normally love, take it seriously. Lethargy and withdrawal. Some dogs become depressed, less interested in activities they used to enjoy, withdrawn from social interactions, sleeping more than usual. You might notice them lying in their companion's old spot, or simply moving through the day with less presence. They are not being difficult. They are processing an absence they can't articulate.
Increased clinginess.
This one surprises people. Many grieving dogs don't withdraw from their owners. They move toward them, sometimes urgently. Surviving dogs often became more affectionate and clingy with their owners after a loss. When one anchor in their world is gone, they hold tighter to the others. This is not a behavior problem. It is attachment doing exactly what it's designed to do. Vocal changes. About 63% of dogs showed changes in their vocal patterns, some vocalizing more, others going unusually quiet. The ones who vocalize more are, in some ways, doing what they've always done, calling for a member of their group who hasn't come back yet. Lying in their companion's space. Pets who've lost an animal companion will sometimes choose to lie in their friend's spot, their bed, their corner, the place they always occupied on the couch. This isn't random, it's proximity to what's left, scent, warmth, the outline of a presence.
Here's something the research found that's easy to overlook, but really matters. The owner's own grief and emotional state was one of the strongest predictors of behavioral changes in the surviving dog. Think about what that means. Your dog is not grieving in isolation. They are grieving inside a household that has also been altered, where the humans they depend on are moving differently, speaking less, carrying a heaviness that was not there before. Dogs read us constantly. They notice the absence of laughter. They feel the shift in energy when someone cries. They don't know why the house feels different. They only know that it does, and that the people who are supposed to make sense of the world for them seem, right now, to also be lost. This doesn't mean you need to hide your grief from your dog. You can't, and you shouldn't try. It means that taking care of yourself during this time is, in a very real sense, also taking care of them. There is no shortcut through this, but there are things that genuinely help. Keep the structure steady. When everything else is changed, routine becomes especially important. Walks at the same time, meals at the same time, sleep in the same place. Maintaining daily patterns gives a grieving dog the structure that helps them feel the world is still, in most ways, predictable. Predictability is a form of reassurance. Be present, but don't panic. Your dog needs more from you right now, and that's okay. Extra walks, more time together, gentle attention when they seek it, these matter. What doesn't help is treating them as if they're broken or responding to every quiet moment with alarm. Grief is not a crisis. It is a process. Give it space.
Don't rush a decision about getting another dog. This comes up quickly, and the impulse is kind. You want to fill the silence, give your surviving dog a companion again. But if your dog is actively grieving, introducing a new dog too soon can add stress rather than comfort. A grieving dog may not have the emotional bandwidth for a new, energetic presence in the house. Wait until they seem like themselves again, then consider it. Know when to call the vet. If your dog refuses to eat or drink, or if their grief seems to be affecting their health and quality of life for more than a few months, that's a conversation worth having with your vet. Some dogs need a little extra support getting through. There's no shame in asking for it.
We tend to think of grief as something that requires language to be real, something that needs to be understood, named, processed consciously before it counts. Dogs don't have any of that. And yet, the research is clear. When they lose someone they were close to, something in them changes. Something searches. Something waits. They can't tell us they're mourning, but they show us. In the food left in the bowl, in the extra time spent pressed against your leg, in the way they still walk past that empty bed and pause for just a second before moving on. They are not dramatic about it. They're just honest. And the least we can do is pay attention.